If you ever overseeded your lawn, watered it, and waited, and still ended up with patchy grass and bare spots, you're certainly not alone. And this video is definitely for you, because the problem is probably not your grass seed, it's your soil. Hi again, everybody. Joe here with Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply and the Soil Channel. Both Tim and I have had far too many conversations with customers who've thrown grass seed across their lawn in their thin spots and their bare spots, watered it, and saw nothing happen. Well, that approach would be no different than me taking this grass seed and dropping it here onto this concrete sidewalk. Both of these approaches are going to grow nothing but discouragement and disappointment. So in this quick video, I'll give you the 5 reasons why your grass seeding project has failed and how to fix it. Let's get into it. So let's take a look at 5 reasons why your grass overseeding project has failed. Overseeding often fails because people simply scatter the seed over their lawn without addressing the barriers that prevent it from growing. For grass seed to thrive, it needs consistent moisture and direct contact with the soil, neither of which is guaranteed when it's just sitting on top of the existing grass or all that thatch that hasn't been removed. The second thing we'll look at is bad soil structure. Remember, not all soil is created equal. With clay soils, it's much too dense, holds water way too much, and suffocates the roots. With a sandy soil, it drains way too fast and dries out much too quickly. Either way, your seed will struggle to survive. The fix for either one of these situations is to simply improve the soil structure with a balanced blend that holds moisture while still allowing drainage. This is where a professionally blended product like our top dressing mix or lawn repair mix comes in. It creates the ideal growing environment your native soil often lacks. And a very common but very preventable problem when it comes to grass seeding is inconsistent moisture. I like to refer to that as the silent grass seed killer. Grass seed needs consistent moisture, especially in its earliest days. If it's too dry, it will die. If it's too wet, it will rot. Most lawns fail right there. The fix is, of course, something we just mentioned, top dressing, which acts like a moisture buffer. It helps retain water longer between watering cycles, which is something we emphasize heavily here on the Soil Channel, especially in our lawn renovation and overseeding videos. And we all like to eat, right? Well, even if your seed germinates, it needs nutrients, something to eat, in order to grow. Many existing lawns have been depleted of nutrients, anywhere between 3 and 7 years, and there's probably no nutrients left in that grass, meaning there's nothing there to support any new grass that's been freshly planted. The fix for this is to use a nutrient-rich soil mix that contains organic matter and nutrients. Our blends at Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply are built to not only support germination, but to sustain growth beyond those first few weeks. And when it comes to grass seed, you can do everything right, but if you seed at the wrong time, your results are going to suffer. Here's my easy way to remember the best windows for seeding and top dressing here in the greater Chicagoland area. In the spring, think Mother's Day to Father's Day. In the fall, Labor Day to Columbus Day. These windows provide the ideal combination of soil temperature, moisture, and reduced stress on new grass. We talk about this often here on the Soil Channel. It's one of the easiest ways to dramatically improve your grass seeding results. If there's one takeaway from this video, it's this. Top dressing is the missing link between overseeding and success. I like to refer to top dressing as the missing step in overseeding because it directly solves 2 of the biggest killers of new grass seed, dehydration and exposure. While most people stop after scattering the seed or overseeding their grass, top dressing adds a thin layer of protection that acts as a life support system for those vulnerable seeds. Top dressing will help you hold the moisture into that seed in the lawn longer, protect the seed, and remember, grass seed likes to germinate in the dark and it needs to be in contact with that soil, and top dressing will definitely improve your grass seeding results and fast. So here's a quick look at the 5 steps to successful top dressing and growing grass. The process of top dressing is done in these 5 easy steps. Mow your lawn short, usually between 1 and 1.5 inches tall. Be certain that you either aerate or dethatch your lawn before you put down your top dressing mix. Then go ahead and spread your top dressing evenly over the entire lawn. Overseed, and then make sure you water and keep your lawn moist. Not every lawn overseeding project requires material by the full cubic yard. I mean, sometimes you only have a couple bare spots that you want to get the grass to grow back up in again. Well, there is a way to get all the benefits of peat in a smaller setting, and let me show you how that's done. The first thing we need to do is simply just scuff up or loosen the area that we're going to be working in. Once I have the soil nice and loose, I can apply my grass seed. Once the grass seed is down, I go ahead and try to get the grass seed worked into the soil. There's 2 reasons for that. One of which is the grass seed will do much better when it's in contact with the soil. And second of all, I like to tell people that grass seed is very shy. It likes to do its germination in the dark. So this process takes care of both of those issues. The next step in the process is to apply a little bit of peat. Well, you can see how dusty this stuff is. I really don't want any more than 1/4 inch at tops. Once I've got it down, I'm going to make sure I have good seed to soil contact. Nothing scientific about this. Simply walk on it. And once that's all done, I'm simply going to water it in. If you remember back to the beginning of our video, I mentioned that the grass seed is probably not your problem, but probably does leave the door open to possibly being your problem. And that's especially likely if you're using a coated grass seed to overseed your lawn. Now, there are a couple problems with coated grass seed. I mean, they're marketed at the big box stores in 3 or 5 pound bags as being able to conserve water. And if you miss a day, it's not a big deal because of the coating. But that coating presents 2 other problems that you need to be aware of. First of all, that bag of grass seed is 30 to 50% coating, which means you're going to need maybe twice as much actual seed to get the coverage that you'd get from a non-coated grass seed. And the other problem is a little bit more scientific, and that has to do with imbibition, the part of the germination process. Imbibition happens when the grass seed has swollen enough that that little sprout of grass has popped through the outer coating and it begins to grow. When you have a coated seed, imbibition has to take place not only on the kernel of grass, but then through the coating, which means your germination time is going to be a lot longer. So your best bet when it comes to grass seed is to get a grass seed that's specifically blended for the light exposure you'll have in the area that you're addressing. All sun, part sun and shade, or fully shady. And then be sure you get your grass seed at a good landscape supply store or a farm supply outlet. If your lawn still looks bad after seeding, don't keep repeating the same process and hoping for different results. Fix the soil, improve the conditions, and use the right material. And most importantly, don't skip top dressing. That's where the real transformation happens. If you want better results, stop focusing on the seed and start focusing on your soil. Hey, before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay current with all of our future Soil Channel videos. On behalf of Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply and the Soil Channel, I'm Joe. Thanks again for watching. Now grow and make it a great day.